In this video, we're going to look at the mechanical demolition sheet. We're going to use the layers to apply the few properties that we want to indicate what's being demolished and what's being relocated. So this would be indicative of a real-world scenario where there's a current tenant and they move out of a building, and then you need to go through and the architect reconfigures the offices and comes through, and we have to change the mechanical systems. Everything this color is, this is all going to be existing to remain. So, and we will change, we'll change things that we want demolished to be red and dashed. You'll notice that half the building is hatched with this NIC that is not in contract. So that basically means that we're not doing any work in these areas. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and delete all of this flex duct right here. If you've ever seen that silver flexible duct behind a dryer, that is essentially the same thing. This is just real light aluminum ducting that is super flexible. When there's any construction in the area, they just go through and if they move the duct or move the diffuser, just rip it out and add new. So we're going to go through here and just delete it because we're going to assume that it's being demolished. You do want to leave this piece right here as this unit is going to stay where it is. Now we're going to use the Redline mechanical demo cropped floor plan that is on Blackboard, and we're going to start matching the layers to show what needs to be demolished and what needs to stay. And to do this, we're just going to be changing the layers of the pieces that we want to be demolished. So MHVAC demo, notice that it changes it to red and dash line. And once I have one set, I can click on it and I can type MA for match properties. And then anything I select after that will show up or will be changed to the demo layer. Remember there's a right to left selection window. So if I click and drag my mouse right, notice that it's a blue box with a solid white border. This will only select things that it fully encompasses. So notice that as I click up here and I drag down, none of these lines are actually selected until I fully encompass them. So this will help kind of target your selections to hopefully grab things that you don't want to grab. And then on the other side, you have the right to left selection tool. And notice that as soon as I touch any piece of this block, it fully selects it. So you can kind of use this back and forth to target your selections. All right, all of those stay. All right, so we know all of these need to go away. All right, and then all of this duct here, as well as these units here. The selection method is really helpful to not grab the background too. You know, if you're going this way and selecting, it's not selecting the background because you're not fully encompassing it. But if you go right to left, as soon as you cross any piece of it and select, it's going to select your background. All right, so just going in, keep matching properties. All of this work down here goes. These units will be relocated, but we'll show them demoed first. And then lastly, we need to separate this duct here into two pieces, or each of these lines into two pieces, so we can show the ductwork up until this point being demolished. All right, so to do that, we're going to use break. break. So you're going to select your line, and then wherever you clicked on it, notice that it'll basically let you pull that line back. We're just gonna keep it butted up to that other line so that it is still connected. All right, now we have two different pieces here, and we can use our match properties for these lines here. All right, so let's take a look. All right, those exist, those remain. We do need to demolish this end piece here as well, and this because it's being relocated. All right, so existing, leaving this piece of duct. All right. All right, so now we're going to relocate the units. That is, we're going to copy I'm going to pull this down, directly down, hit F8 to turn ortho on. Pull this down here. We're going to set this one to the relocated layer. And we're going to do this one as well. CO for copy. And this one is going right down almost to the same place as this one. All right, so now we need to I'm going to select this stuff and put it on the relocated layer. Now we need to trim out these lines underneath the relocated units. All right, to do that, we will use a trim tool, so TR for trim. And we will go through and notice that it doesn't trim some things because these are blocks. A lot of these are blocks. To trim a block, you would actually need to burst it. And I like to use burst instead of explode because explode puts everything on the 0 layer after you explode it. But if you burst, so let's select these blocks and type burst, then it keeps it on the same layer. It basically inherits the properties of the block. All right, so I'm just going to go through here and delete the stuff that I know doesn't need to be trimmed. All right, now we're going to trim. That can be deleted. There you go. And now we're going to use the leader in the annotate tab. So annotate relo arrow for relocated arrow as the leader. Another one for this guy. And we'll do the same thing down here for these two units as well, except these will need to rotate. All right, so grab the unit, and I'm just going to grab them both. CO for copy. I'm just going to pull them down here and adjust them. So RO for rotate. And here I'm just using the control and the arrow key to nudge left and right. All right, so get those there. Go ahead and put a relocation arrow on them. All right, and then we're going to burst these blocks so we can trim. So burst again. GR for trim. And this left to right selection method works really good with the trim too. So notice that I have multiple lines under here, but if you do trim and you go left to right, I'm sorry, right to left, it'll trim out everything under there, not just one line at a time. All right, and once you are done with that, you are finished with the mechanical demolition portion.